This video is going to show you how to get started using After Effects. Let's get started in After Effects. Open After Effects and start a new project, and then you're going to create a new composition. Just go up to Composition and select New Composition. There are 4 different settings on the New Composition window that are most important. Typically you will want to set the size to 1920 by 1080, which is HD. Next, you will set the frame rate. For animations, the standard is usually 25. Then you will set your anticipated duration for your timeline. Set this to however long you think your video will be. Lastly, set your background color. All of these options can be changed later on, but this gets you started. Now you need to save your project. Go to File, Save, navigate to the folder you want to save your project in. I recommend setting up an assets folder wherever you choose to save your project folder so that you can save all your Illustrator, Photoshop, or other assets all in one spot. Now that your project is saved, let's go over where some things are located and what you are looking at on your screen. At the top of your screen in After Effects, you have a toolbar. Many of these tools are very similar to Photoshop or Illustrator tools, and most of them do very similar things. In the top left, you have your project window. This window allows you to see all your imported files and compositions. This window also toggles to the effects window, which will show you all your various effects for a layer when it is selected. Below the project window is your layers window, which is part of the timeline window. This window is typically used the most in After Effects as it gives you precise control of everything that is happening in your composition. Directly to the right of the layers is the timeline. This window allows you to preview and place elements exactly where you want them to be played in your video. Above the timeline is your preview window, which displays your selected composition and allows you to play it back. To the right of the preview window, you have several different tabs that allow you to control or add effects, character and paragraph settings, alignment settings, and your preview settings. Let's animate an object and get started seeing what After Effects can do. Go to Layer, hover over New, and select Shape. You should see that the rectangle box is now highlighted and a new layer has been added to your timeline. Click and drag on the preview window to create the rectangle shape you want to make. Next, change to the Select tool, which is just V on your keyboard, and drag the shape. Now we're going to make this object come flying in from the bottom and then slowly exit the screen to the right. To create those animations, click the drop-down arrow in the Layers window on this particular layer. Click the drop-down arrow next to the word Transform, and you should see 5 settings appear. Go to the bottom of your screen where there are 2 little mountain icons with a scale between them. Click on the right one to zoom in on your timeline until you start to see seconds appearing. Now drag the playhead to the 1 second mark. Next, click the stopwatch icon next to the word Position. This tells After Effects that when the timeline reaches this point in playback, this layer should be positioned right here. Scrub the playhead back to 0 seconds. Drag the layer object straight down off the screen. After Effects automatically creates a new point on the position setting. If you hit the spacebar to start playback, you should see the object moving. Now go to the 5 second marker and drag the object to the right off the screen for the slow exit. You might see a curved dotted line appear. This is called keyframe interpolation. It automatically adjusts to make a smooth motion. If you don't want the smooth motion but want the object to follow the direct path you have set, select all the position expressions or dots, right-click and select keyframe interpolation. Under spatial interpolation, select linear, and then click OK. Now your object should follow straight lines to each point. Next, let's make the object expand once it flies in from the bottom and then pause before leaving the screen. Go back to the 1 second marker and click the stopwatch icon next to Scale. Then copy the position expression or dot, scrub the playhead to 2 seconds, and paste that expression dot there. Next, click the chain link icon next to Scale to unlock the scale ratio for the object. Then just change the scale to take up the entire screen. Lastly, you will need to adjust your last position marker to make sure the object gets all the way off screen. Go to that expression marker under 5 seconds and then adjust accordingly. That's it. You've animated an object. Those basic techniques are used over and over in After Effects. Once you understand how expression points work, After Effects starts to make a lot more sense.